Welcome to the court. I'm its Jester. Now, where did we leave off? With dusk fast approaching, they have no time to waste. With that in mind, Tsutsumi and Iryo direct their investigation toward Komagata High School and the Shirashi residence. Let's go to the high school so we can see if we can talk to some of the students before they leave. I think we have limited time with them. Here we are, Komagata High. Classes are suspended for the day, so the students are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. The school gate will stay locked while forensics inspect the scene of the incident. Looks like they're still busy. Let's talk to the person in charge later. This place isn't only connected to the case because the students were under Yoshimi's jurisdiction. It's also the site of the Fool's Procession, and of course, where that teacher was killed. Good riddance! Fuck that guy. Hello! Seems like a likely place to find some clues, don't you think? The news of the dead teacher has also attracted a fair share of rubberneckers. The atmosphere is kind of tense with this many cops around. Alright, speaking of schools, what is it? You said the paranormal affairs can't help us right now. So why don't we get that psychic high schooler you mentioned to help us? Oh yeah, we could. We're looking for clues at the shutdown school. Try not to break any rules. Don't want to look like fools. I'm out of rhymes. A lot of people involved in this case led back to this school anyway, so it might make things easier to have them with us. For a guy who questioned me on the legality of working with them, you sure seem eager to exploit underage labor. Hey, who said anything about exploiting them? I just want to give our young experts the opportunity to shine. When'd you become such a smooth talker? Anyway, I'm afraid I don't know where they are. Oh, I see. I wonder if there's anyone who could help us scout out this area. The news of the dead teacher has also attracted a fair share of rubberneckers. There's a lot of cops around. Oh. Komagata High's gymnasium also serves as a polling place and evacuation center. A lot of the buildings around here are still made of wood, but this place looks safe and sturdy. I wonder if there's anyone who could help us in this area. Is there something on my shirt? Don't tell me I stink. 9 a.m., a perfectly reasonable time for students to be at school, and yet, I doubt this will be that simple. Is there anything else for us to do in this area? Okay, it doesn't... Oh, school building? Yoshimi also looked out for these students as a Sumide city officer. Juvenile delinquency has been a growing problem for years now. This school is no exception. I think this might be all we can do in the area. Okay, let's move on to a different one then. We'll come back here later, I guess. It seems like Michio's house is at the end of this road. We don't want to intimidate them, so maybe I should go alone. You are the good cop here. Iryo is checking the Shirashi house at the end of the road. The street's real narrow, so two big guys like us would stick out like a pair of sore thumbs. Alright, I'll go check the house. So the Shirashi house. There is a chance that Michio didn't actually kill herself. It might be for the best that we didn't find her parents. It's quiet. This place is normally pretty lively, full of people coming and going. But it seems like everyone's decided to stay inside because of recent incidents. What's taking so long? Oh, you're back. No luck, boss. No one home? Doesn't look like it. I knocked for a while, but nobody came to the door. I glanced in the windows, but there was no sign of activity inside either. And I saw about 3 newspapers stuffed into the mailbox. Looks like no one's home. Okay, I think we have to suspend. Can we go back to the school? Is anything different at the school now? Okay, I guess we suspend. You cannot currently progress any further. Once your situation has changed, try to resume. I have an idea. I think if we... leave them here, we can run into them as someone else. Just check everything around here again. Do I have to, like, wait for him for a long amount of time? Okay, good, you're back. Yeah, there's nothing here. This isn't changing. I don't think the location I leave them in means anything. It's not letting me suspend. I think it wants me to have them left here at the school. Just fast forward through all this dialogue again. Suspend. Bringing her friend back from the dead means she'll have to pay the price. Yako makes it home safely, but still isn't sure about how to proceed with her curse. She worries about Mio as the night progresses. Start from location selection. Can we run into them at the school? And so, Mio Kazuru and Yaku Sakazaki decided on their next location to investigate. I guess we can't do anything from the location select. Start from location selection. Okay, have fun lurking. Can we just bring everyone to the high school? We did this before last stream. We had them inquire so they could go to Michio's house. The game's being really confusing right now. I'm not exactly sure where I keep trying to bring them to places to look for stuff. And it keeps telling me you need to advance the other storylines to progress, but there doesn't seem to be anything I can do to advance the other storylines. Michio's house seemed to be empty. Social connections run deep in working class. Oh yeah, we already did that one. They talked about how her family wasn't talking to anyone, how her stepdad was a real jerk, how no one liked them. I'm pretty sure her family just dipped. Is there anything down here? We did all this before! Yeah, you're gonna go into the headquarters, I know. I did all this before. I had him go into the headquarters, I had him do his whole thing. Riker, go in the building. Okay, go inside. He's gonna have that confrontation with the creepy soap guy that's gonna try to kill us later. Is there a fast forward button? Creepy soap guy trying to steal your life. I know, everything's terrible. Lie to him better. Trying to act like the woman in charge of the soap company is a witch. Terrible lie. Terrible decision to make to tell that lie. Very obvious you're up to something. God, this guy looks like he hasn't slept all night. Probably because he hasn't. He's been running around looking for curse stones. You do not get paid enough. I don't know how much you're getting paid, but your boss does not pay you enough to get involved in this poor paranormal shenanigans. Does anything happen at the park? They're gonna go look for that woman. Yeah, Ayame lives near here. He's gonna go check her out, but isn't she being scoped by the police? Yeah, the police are keeping watch on her. Is there anything for us to do? I think there should be. The game is not being clear about what it wants me to do. Oh, so you came here too. What is it? Ah. Could you repeat what you know to me one more time for me, Reicher? Okay, so this is supposed to be what happens. They run into each other. Do we just have to pick somewhere good for our location selection for it to let me play? Every time I try to have Yaku go somewhere, it just cuts, but nothing happens with the other two. It just keeps saying, and they continued their search to investigate, and then it cuts me out. I don't know what it wants me to do with them because I keep getting the screen. So all it's really giving me is wander around aimlessly, looking, skipping through dialogue I've already read. Screw it, I'm looking up a walkthrough. I have no idea what it wants me to do. It's not letting me do anything. Okay, where are we now? None of this makes... Even the walkthrough doesn't explain any of this to me. I think I have to make sure that Mio is at the school so the police can talk to her. Start from location selection. Make sure they're at the high school. This is needlessly complicated to make sure they're at the high school. Like, I feel like having 3 different characters you play at once is a really cool idea. I feel like having it be, like, this much backtracking and everything to make sure you get to the ones you need to get to and have them in certain places to interact, I feel like that's needlessly complicated. There she is. Huh? That's... Boss, what is it? You want to talk to those girls? I do! Yeah, I do. This is divine intervention. This is my intervention, and the intervention of a walkthrough that told me to make sure this happened. We were brought here for a reason. Come on, Irio. Huh? What? Hey, aren't you? You must be that high schooler skirting the child labor laws who I've heard so much about. Say that again. Sorry about that. He's with me. Mr. Susumi, if that's how you feel, maybe you should look into improving my working conditions. I'd prefer not to work for free, to be honest. Don't worry about that. If you help us out, you can have whatever you want. Boss's treat. Wait, really? Thank you so much. I always wanted to go to a fancy sushi place. Oh yeah, like one of those places in Ginza? I've never been. Let's go. We got ourselves a deal, right, boss? The girls are at our service. Hold on now. What just happened? I never said I'd... Sushi? Look, you have a job that pays you. You can afford it. Looking forward to it, boss. Wait, since when were you included? Haha, you guys are so funny. You should do stand-up. So how much have you been able to figure out? Well, I know what happened around midnight last night. Someone invoked the Feast of Shadows, which boosts the power of the curses, then brought forth the 7 mysteries of Hanjo. That allows even those who do not have the power to cast curses to gather soul drugs for the rite of resurrection. At least, that's my hypothesis. Sounds about right so far. As I'm sure you know, there are actually 9 mysteries, not 7. When the Feast of Shadows was cast, the curse stone appeared before those who wanted the rite at the locals of the 7 mysteries. We've managed to gather 3 curse stones so far, including the one I got first, the Evergreen Beach. You got 3 already? Wow! We have the curse stone at the Fool's Procession. Well, Yako, the girl standing behind me, does. That's me! Yako, the girl standing behind me, yo. She does. Is she alright? We could take it off your hands. Well, the Feast of Shadows has no effect during the day, and there's still something I want to find out. Alright, I'll leave the Fool's Procession with you two then. That's a terrible idea! That is, I think you have not only a legal, but a moral obligation to take this dangerous artifact off of Yako's hands. Because as long as she has this curse stone on her, she is a target for other curse bearers who will try to kill her to get it. You gotta take it away from her for her own safety. Thank you. Please keep collecting the other curse stones. I'll be looking for a way to stop the Feast of Shadows. Okay, got it. That should make things go more smoothly. What about the other curse bearers? Have you run into any of them? Well, last night at school. You were here last night? Yes, you see. Huh. You two were using a spirit board? That's so cool. So that's when you ran into the curse echo. I'm glad you survived the encounter. Somehow we managed to get away without accidentally setting it off. The curse echo we saw took the shape of a woman missing an arm and a leg. Oh shit, it was the serial killer. What? A woman missing an arm and a leg? That's the one-sided read. The one-sided read. This is bad. Huh? What's so bad about that one? The guy cutting off the limbs of a woman that rejected him? You idiot! Think! The curse bearer who has the one-sided reed is Nejima! He admitted it himself! That's his curse! Oh, that's right. Wait, but if that's the case... Nejima might have been here last night. What? I mean, it's possible he was lying to us, but... What? Who's Nejima? No clue. About Nejima. So Nejima is trying to take advantage of the Feast of Shadows for his own nefarious purposes. Huh? He said he's going to massacre the city at sundown today? That is a lot of pressure we're putting on two teenage girls, letting them know this information. I don't feel great. I don't want to leave them out of the loop, but I also feel like letting them in the loop isn't super great for them. And he's trying to get rid of your daughter too? That's why we've all been trying to find him, but to no avail. Honestly, this information has been the most useful we've gotten so far. So just to be sure, could you tell me who else was at the school last night? Well, as far as we know, there was Mr. Janouchi and one of our classmates, Hitomi. Don't forget Old Man Ashiyama. Wait, Hitomi. You mean Hitomi Akuda? Second-year student? Yes. Why? Boss. So she was here last night. We kind of promised not to tell anyone about that. Like, we just broke our promise to her. Hitomi's gonna be mad. I saw Hitomi earlier, though, and she didn't seem like a curse bearer to me. You did? Did you talk to her? Yes. Would you mind if we asked you a few questions about that? Hitomi said she didn't want to talk to the police because she was afraid she'd become a suspect. So I can't tell you anything unless you swear you won't drag her into this. You already told her something. You already told them something. You already brought up her name. I see. Don't worry, this is about a different matter. A different matter? You mean about that police officer, Mr. Yoshimi? You know about that? Did Hitomi say something about him? Yes, she did actually. Hitomi did say that Mr. Yoshimi entrusted her with something. He did? What was it? Yoshimi gave her a talisman? Yes, apparently he also asked her to look for another one just like it, one that Michio had. What kind of talismans could they be? Boss? Doesn't ring a bell. But if Yoshimi was talking about them with his dying breath, they must have been pretty important. Did they find the talisman on Michio where her body was found? I'll check, but if they did, Yoshimi would have had plenty of time to retrieve it before he died. Right. Would you consider giving us Hitomi's contact information? I'd like to talk to her about this talisman. I'm not sure. She never opened up to anyone except Mr. Yoshimi. I'm no good, huh? I was friends with Yoshimi, though. You don't seem like too bad a guy. Not at all scary for a cop. But I doubt that'll be enough for her. She really doesn't want to end up becoming a suspect. To be honest, she was even a bit wary of us. Well then. Do you think she'd talk to Yoshimi's fiancé? Haven't they met before? Oh, they have. She told us about that. Yes, she might be willing to talk to her. All right, then we better find her fast. You haven't been able to reach her? That's a little worrying. If we're talking about people who were at the school last night, there was one more person, though I'm not too clear on the details. There was someone else? Apparently Hitomi actually saw Junichi getting cursed and killed last night. What? Talk about some vital information. What she said happened was... Michio was the one who killed Mr. Janauchi? Are you sure it was really Michio that she saw? Well, that was what she told me. I wasn't there. That must mean there was another curse bearer here last night. Janauchi was killed by a curse, so someone had to have been there, whether it was Michio or not. Damn, boss. Do you think it really could have been Michio's ghost? I mean, based on what we've heard, she does have plenty of reasons to be vengeful. Calm down. Just because the paranormal exists doesn't mean anything is possible. It's still possible that Nejima was behind Janauchi's death. But what about Hitomi's story? About this janitor. Ashimiya, was it? How old is he? Do you know how long he's worked here? Huh? Why are you so interested in him all of a sudden? I only just transferred to this school, though, so I have no idea. He's around 50 years old. He came to our school about half a year ago. No one knows what he did before, so there are all kinds of rumors about him. I see. Thanks. I think I'm starting to get a better picture of all this. Huh? Listen up. It's not uncommon for former prisoners to find work under the alias of after their release. The notoriety attached to their former name can get in the way of proper rehabilitation, you see? What are you? No way! Ario, have the officers apprehend the janitor. He works the night shift, so he might still be in the overnight room. Yes, right away. Boss, bad news. Apparently the room's been empty all morning. Sounds like they've been looking to question Ashimiya too, but couldn't find him anywhere. No. That all but confirms it. Just one more thing to check. Are there any photos of Ashimiya? The old man seriously hated getting his picture taken. He'd always avoid it. Ario, call an urgent search for Makoto Ashimiya. We can't let him get away. Yes, sir. I'll contact HQ right away. Oh my. I didn't expect this at all. Yeah. How could that old man have been some horrible criminal mastermind? I can't believe it. And a curse bearer on top of that. To think he was so close to us this whole time. It gives me the chills. A guy like that really shouldn't have been allowed to work at a high school. Let's hope it isn't already too late. Oh! I may have shown Ashimiya my curse stone last night. What? I don't like this one bit. Nejima did say he wasn't specifically targeting curse bearers, but... I'm glad nothing happened to you. Wait, but then, could it have been old man Ashimiya who attacked you in the hallway? Huh? I almost told him you were hiding in the building too! What? You did? Yikes. Good thing I didn't say anything. Yeah, I remember that bad ending. It wasn't pretty. You might have gotten lucky there, kid. This is too much. I hope they find him soon. Come on, long arm of the law. Help us. To put a stop to the Feast of Shadows, it would help if I knew more about the curses of these 7 mysteries first came about. In that case, you're probably best off talking to that crabby researcher guy. You mean Mr. Arashi? I would very much like to talk to him. Right. He's a teacher here too, isn't he? You would know him already. He might be more inclined to talk if it's one of his students doing the asking. Do you know where he is? I do. We tried to talk to him, but he refused to cooperate. But you two should give it a try. He's at his usual cafe working on his papers. The cafe. Oh, Kuryokyo Cafe in Kamizawa. Thanks. We'll head over there now. School rules say we're not allowed to go to cafes, though. Don't worry about it. I'll allow it. Dude, you're not a teacher. Thank you. Huh? That's all it takes? There must be a mastermind behind everything. Someone who orchestrated all this for a reason. I want to find out why. Mayu Chizawa. We'll let you know as soon as we manage to contact her. Okay, I'd be willing to give Hitomi's contact information to her. Oh right, one more thing. Hitomi told me that Mr. Yoshimi gave her instructions in the event that something happened to him. He told her to give the talisman to Mr. Nagagoshi from the police headquarters. What? So it was a Nagagoshi case? Why would Yoshimi tell her that? Could you check on that? I will, but well, I don't know if they'll pick up when I call. Is he with the paranormal investigation? Is he with the Paranormal Affairs Bureau? Well, yes. Nagagoshi's the chief, but he's almost never in, so I don't really know the guy. To be honest, I'm not even sure if he exists or if he's just a figurehead. I've never spoken to him myself. All the Paranormal Affairs cases are referred to as Nagagoshi cases. Jeez, what's up with that? The amulet Hitomi was looking for may be the missing puzzle piece to the mystery. Okay, that's all to talk to her about. What was that thing you mentioned about Michio earlier? Something about a grudge? Did you know anything about her? What's your relation? I'm her friend. I was actually planning to resurrect her at first. Ah, I see. We gained quite a lot of information from you two, so it's only fair we share as well. Tell her, Ario. Alright. Keep in mind that this is just a theory, though. Okay. After re-examining the crime scene, Yoshimi concluded that Michio's death wasn't a suicide, but a vehicular collision. Wait, what? An accident? Being hit by a speeding truck or van would have resulted in similar injuries. The investigation was ordered by Yoshimi, so it seems like he had his doubts about it being a suicide. What? A van? Speeding? Yako, what's wrong? Are you okay? Ah! Ah! Why is Yako getting a flashback? A van! There's a young man in the driver's seat! Huh. Wait, what was I? Are you back now? How do you feel? You're covered in sweat. Huh. Yeah, I'm okay, I think. Sorry. I went a little crazy there. Oh, Michio's definitely possessing her. I think Michio was trying to possess her to give her memories of the accident so that she could help solve the case. It's no problem, as long as you're okay. That was quite the surprise, though. Yoshimi talked to you about Michimo, didn't he? Well, he didn't give me any specifics, if you're wondering that. So I wouldn't know what was truly on Michio's mind, either. Right. Do you have any idea why Janouchi was so scared of Michio? Well, about that. I'm not sure exactly how to put this, but... I see. Well, I half expected it was something like that. Thank you for telling me. Sorry. It's hard to explain. I wonder what he got his hands on to be able to blackmail her like that. Michio, what happened? This is one hell of a coincidence, huh? That this random girl you know is already involved in the case. Okay, we got check marks on all of that. Janouchi was almost definitely killed by a curse, but I wonder about the exact cause of death. If the curse's origin and the cause of death are connected, it could give us another lead. Forensics is still investigating the area. I didn't really want to bring these kids to a place like this, but there was too many onlookers outside for us to speak comfortably. Besides, it would be good to have Mio look around the scene too. Yep, There's the tape from the dead body. So this is Yako Sakazaki. She was with Mio. Could she be a friend? Did Mio finally make a friend? If she did, it would do this old man's heart good. But I'd better not say that out loud. I don't want to make her look bad. Mio Kurosuzu. She's like a disciple of the Paranormal Affairs Chief. I've heard that she helps out with investigations free of charge under the guise of training. Although she's my old boss's prodigy, she helped me out plenty of times while I was in Paranormal Affairs. She may look meek, but she's got a strong spirit sense, sharp instincts, and courage, plus quite the brain to back it all up. That said, I can't help but think there's some kind of darkness following her around. What's that rope all about? It indicates where Junichi's body was found. They moved his body, but this way they still have an idea of how it was found. Yikes, that's a little gross. You can even see how his arms and legs are all, ugh. Cool it, Ario, you're scaring her. This kind of stuff is a little too much for a kid. Hey, I'm pretty sure she only asked because you were staring at it so intently. Alright, that's enough. Mio, what do you think? I knew it the second I looked at the scene. You're right. Traces of the curse still linger here. I figured as much. Does that mean Junauchi was killed by one of the curses of the Seven Mysteries? Yes, a strong curse like that always leaves behind a trace. Wow, Mio, you're so calm. Are you used to this kind of thing? I wouldn't say I'm used to it. It just comes with experience, I guess. No, I've heard some stories about you. Didn't you investigate a gruesome scene where someone had been killed by a paranormal attack without even breaking a sweat? Stop it, Mr. Tsumi. She's going to get the wrong idea. Whoa, that's amazing. Mio, you're a professional. You think? Totally. You're cool even in the face of death. That's awesome. When you put it like that, I'm not sure how awesome it is. Hey boss, forensics is calling. I'll go see what they have to say. Sure, thanks. Boss, they found this on the ground, a short distance away from the scene. What is it? A ribbon? Yeah, the kind you use to tie up your hair. What? I've seen that ribbon before. You have? Go on then. That's the ribbon that Michio always used to wear. What? Doesn't that mean Michio was here? Are you sure? Definitely. I have the same one at home. We bought them together. That has to be hers, or she possessed you. Then, did she come back to life somehow? But how? If I was Michio and I came back to life, where would I go? That's the question. She got her revenge on Junauchi, but she may have more revenge to dish out. Is there anyone else she'd have a grudge against? Her douchebag stepdad? Her shitty mom for marrying her douchebag stepdad? Well, what about the guy who killed her in the collision? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, him too. If she really did come back to life, then it's terribly sad that she's spending her new chance at life like this. Being obsessed with revenge is such a tragic way to live. I'm afraid that's all we can tell you. Don't worry. You were a big help. Thank you. We should start out our search for Nejima and Mayu Chozawa. It might be worth it to check Michio's house as well, just in case. Let's use the school as our base of operations. If anything happens, go to one of the officers hanging around here. Got it. Thank you, and good luck. We'll go talk to Mr. Arashi about a way to lift this curse. All right, boss. Let's get going whenever you're ready. Okay, so we finally got these unlocked. I'm gonna take a quick break and then I'll be right back. Haru and Raicher visit Michio's home, having determined her to be a key player in the unresolved kidnapping case from afar, as the complicated story begins to unravel. They encounter two men. Finally, we got here. Oh, this is really good music. Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives. The name's Jun Ario. I'd hardly call myself elite, but either way, it's nice to meet you. This here is the brilliant Chief Inspector Tatsumi, and yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks. Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting or putting me down. So you two are detectives. This is my client, Miss Haru Shigema. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners. A bigwig named Shigema? Boss, you know of this guy? Shit, I've heard the name, but you know I don't keep track of who's who in the upper echelons. There's no need to worry. I am my own person, after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looks like you're getting off easy again this time. Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business. It ain't like that. You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives. How rare. All the police officers I've met have always been so dull. Well, you won't find any dull cops here. We'll round up all your criminals with a smile. That's our motto. How lovely. Keep it up. Just hold on 1 second. This is the first I'm hearing of that. Well, you're right about them not being your typical detectives. What brings you here, Raicher? You on a case? That's right. I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year. Oh, I remember now. You're that Haru Ishigama from the kidnapping case. Huh? Did I miss something? Don't be an idiot. It was the case where Moonsit Ishigama's grandson was kidnapped. Which must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed. The story was suppressed by the news. In the end, it was considered a huge failure on the police department's part. Most of the investigation was conducted in secret. And unfortunately, the department is unwilling to reopen the case. Any investigation carried out afterwards turned up nothing at all, which is why I'm now on the job. So they never caught the culprit, huh? That's rough. So your findings have brought you to this place then? That's right. An individual connected to the case used to live around here. Used to? That's right. As of last week, they're deceased. We hope to talk to the family. No one was home when I checked last time, so we figured we'd try again. Interesting. It sure doesn't look good on the police to be mishandling cases like this. If there really was a culprit, it should be our responsibility to bring them to justice. Well, I do consider the police to be my people. So you consider the blame to be shared. You've got a stern side as well, I see. By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you. And that is? Do you happen to know anything about the 7 mysteries of Hanzhou? Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly... With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady. If you insist. What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? I've heard of the 7 mysteries, but this talk of curses eludes me. Bitch, he didn't mention curses! Is that so? Well, I'm sorry for the intrusion. She just showed her hand. We're fucked. Come to think of it, I heard some things about this area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around. Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator? Well, I won't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white. And as it turns out, I was here last night to conduct my investigation. Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary? Out of the ordinary. I guess I did observe a few suspicious characters. You were asking about curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult? Boss, Reicher's a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we know. I can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. Something is happening in Hanzhou, isn't there? It must be something big if they've got you head office guys in on it. Well, I guess it's all right. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thank you, boss. Listen closely to what we're about to say, Reicher. So by using curse stones to commit murders, these people collect soul dregs to perform the rite of resurrection. And these curse stones are somehow connected to the 7 mysteries of Hanzhou. It's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see a reason to doubt you either. We figured the strange occurrences happening around here recently are connected to these curses. To get this situation under control, we've been searching for the curse bearers to confiscate their curse stones. Do you have any information that might help us? That's tough. I never expected curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play into all this. But if we're talking shady characters, there was this middle-aged fellow I saw on South Warigashu Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it could have been Hideki Arashi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Did you see anything else? Not that I remember. That's a shame. If you see any characters who look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it'd be a huge help if you let us know. Absolutely. I'll let you know if I find anything. Reicher, perhaps you could lend us a hand on your... Reicher, perhaps we could lend you a hand on your case too. There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty, no? I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. The faith of my clients is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come. I see. Well, I can't say it's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for anyway? The cops should have plenty of bright folks to throw at the job. True, but this isn't an ordinary case we're dealing with. Huh? By the way, that reminds me, Reicher. Yes? You said the person who used to live here died last week. You wouldn't be referring to Michio Shirashi by chance? You knew? I thought so. It seems like we're here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michio was involved with curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse part isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshimi's case. Yoshimi? Oh, right. Hajime Yoshimi. That's right. He died on the job. I'm sure you've heard of it. I heard. It was the most unfortunate loss. So there's a connection between Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division and Michio? Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michio for a second. You think she had something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchanging information could prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn, I want the full scoop on your findings concerning Michio. Sure, to tell you the truth. What? You believe Michio's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Janauchi? So he wasn't just mumbling nonsense? I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet, but the testimonies we've heard and the evidence we've found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those psychic high schoolers? Didn't they also say there was a chance Michio hadn't killed herself? Wait, if that's all true then, did you figure something out? Kanakichiro Iwai. Huh? Kanakichiro Iwai. He'll be the next victim. We have to open the door to Shirashi's house. We need to look inside. Hey, what's gotten into you? Boss! I'm sure the landlord would give us the key if we asked. Screw that! You know how long that could take? We can ask for permission later. Oh yeah, we're gonna kick a door in. Fuck yeah! Reicher? Hey Reicher, calm down. Can't we just... Take that, you shitty door! That's how you do it! Reicher, get a hold of yourself! I think Reicher is making a very composed decision to kick a door in. I see you're still the same as always. Everyone, come quick! Look at this! Oh, fuck yeah, she killed her shitty stepdad. Awesome! Huh? Whoa, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body in here. Good, fuck that guy. Whoa, could that be Michio's dad? He was a piece of shit. Nah, that's her stepdad at best. If that. It's gotta be the body of Kanchichiro Iwai. There's no doubt about it. This man's a goner. He's gotten real messed up. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Irio, did you find Janochi's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looked as though Kohiyo Janochi died from a number of heavy blows. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michio Shirashi. She's alive. No, she's not. She's possessing Yaka. Yako. What was her name again? Anyway, she's possessed by a ghost. She used the power of the curses to get back at the men who ruined her life. Fair. That's ridiculous. You're suggesting she actually revived? It's gotta be that. And if she's alive, then... My apologies for interrupting. I know we've just arrived at an interesting plot point. But do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? Consider this. What if Michio Shirashi never died? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? And so, I would have you answer me a question. Where in Honjo was Michio Shirashi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? I think she was at... Wait, was it 8 o'clock? Was before they got to school. She was at the candy shop. I don't think Michio's alive. I think Michio's possessing Yako, and she's having Yako run around committing these murders with her curse stone. And Yako has no memory of it. I see, very well. Congratulations. You are correct. As expected, you got it in one go. Well, the cause of death was such, was it not? You must have noticed some time ago. Let's get back to the story then, shall we? I've taken up enough of your time. What? So you really think Michio Shirashi is alive? Just think it through, and it all becomes obvious. It tracks, but... do you really think that girl could have managed all this? First of all, Ario, go report this to HQ. Understood. I'll get on it right away. I'll start investigating this place. It sure isn't lacking in stuff. That needs looking at. There's a bunch of photos of the same person posted on the wall over and over. That's Nejima! Why the fuck are there posters of Nejima all over the wall? Did he hit her with a car? Huh? Whoa, now, hold on, these photos. These are all Fumichika Nejima. Gross. Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. Oh, there's even more pasted up over here. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Nejima murders. I don't get it. Why'd the weirdo shrine? Let's keep looking around. Yup, there's nothing around to confirm his identity. By the looks of him, I'd say he's Kanichigo Iwai. You've seen him before? I heard he had a criminal record, so I assumed he wouldn't have held a respectable occupation. Is this what a curse does to a person? Ma'am, it'd be better not to look so closely. It's amazing. Oh, God. She's really down for murder. Cruel is what it is. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what in the world this is. They're magic ruins. They're used in Western black magic rituals. Most of the time, they're useless imitations, though. I wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my. Who knew the Chief Inspector was such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. That girl with the spirit sense we mentioned, she's pretty informed on the subject. Someone was attempting to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd if you ask me. Of course, this person in question was dead serious about it all. There's candles and stones with inscriptions placed all over. Are these tools for some ritual? Hey, don't touch anything, you hear? Ah, that's right. Considering this is a murder scene, we ought to leave everything as is. All of this can be used as evidence. If anyone besides forensic toys with it, it'll cause trouble down the road. Looks like the things spread out around here have been like this for a while now. This ritual, or whatever, was something he attempted up recently. Plenty of neighbors mentioned having heard strange mantra-like noises coming from here during the night. You think Iwai was the one chanting? Hard to say. Could have been one of the Shirashis as well. If we look through the books on the back, we might learn whatever it is they were trying to do. There are old books scattered everywhere. I wonder what they're about. Many of them are written in a foreign language. It'll be a pain to look through all of these. Let's save them for later and continue to look around. This drawer is really old, Chief Inspector. Do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only the police would be allowed to touch such things, right? Right. Ario isn't here, so let me take a look at it. There's just clothes in here. Not much variety either. Can't say they were big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find a kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see. Thank you anyway. It's the same man in every picture. It's the same man in every picture. Is that Fumichika Nejima? Wow, this is quite the spectacle. I don't think I'll ever manage to erase this from my mind. Don't worry, Raicher. You're quite the spectacle yourself. Do you mean to compare me with the likes of a bizarre criminal? These aren't just cut from publications. They even snapped a number of shots of their own. They must have admired him. Why else would they have collected so many pictures? Whatever the case, it's certain they were obsessed. Look at these. Pictures of Nejima cut out from newspapers and magazines. Whoever put these up were obsessed. I wonder what their intent was. You think the Shirashis are somehow connected to the Nejima case? Perhaps they did this to not forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Nejima might be involved in all this, too. Do you think he might have anything to do with the body here? Maybe. The man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a curse stone now. He's announced that from sundown today, he'll be going on a killing spree. Oh dear. There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's managed to get a hold of the bastard. So he hasn't changed his ways. That doesn't bode well. To tell the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from the Nejima murders either. You don't say. That's right. We talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in Sumida River that brought the incident to light. You don't say. You were the kid from back then. You were really brave. You did a great deed. Were you the detective I spoke with? I had no idea. So you two have met before? Fancy that. I've been worried that Fumichika Nejima might bear resentment towards you, ma'am. Huh. You might be right. Unfortunately, that asshole is quite the resentful type. Oh dear. That asshole. I wonder who put the idea into his head. And now he's got the one-sided read, too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Hanjo at sundown. Seriously? On top of that, he's been itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, that man's gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, that's quite the threat. Certainly you can't afford to stay put here. The fucker wants us to get all antsy. When I finally get to arresting him, it'll be with a cool head. Not gonna give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Awai and Fumichika Nejima have anything to do with each other, then this room might hold a clue to Nejima's location. Let's hope so. This sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits the frame. The person who put all these photos up must have been obsessed with Nejima. They might have had some relation to Nejima's victims, or perhaps the opposite. The opposite? What if it wasn't loathing, but admiration? But then... With the window and storm shutter closed, no light gets in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned they started to keep the house shut like this long ago. What do you say, Chief? Would you let me look through it if I wore gloves? Well, it's not like I'm in any help with foreign languages. Go ahead. Thank you. Huh. These seem to be a book on Western black magic. The same runes are written here alongside the detailed descriptions of procedures. I suppose you call these grimoires. It's all a bunch of nonsense if you ask me, though. You think the UI guy was studying them? Perhaps to perform some kind of ritual? There are a bunch of handwritten notes besides the grimoires. Whoever it was, they were serious about it. The Y doesn't seem the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But why would he be studying black magic? According to the materials, this here rune is for the restoration of youth. Perhaps he was trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Each one of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous. Resurrection? Like the rite? I guess no matter what part of this world, people will always turn to the occult for similar reasons. What is it? This looks like a journal. It was probably a wise. A journal. His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if he was writing a report for someone. Oh, wow. Now this is something. What is it? What did he write? This is quite the find. Let me give you a summary. So this is a Y fellow. He'd been searching for a spell to restore youth for years. So he was into black magic from the start. He believed if he could learn to successfully perform the spell, he could then use it to earn a fortune. To tell you the truth, it seems like he already was getting funded after he acquired this grimoire. You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. But first, let's find out how he got his hands on this grimoire. It seems that Nejima told him where he could obtain the book when they were both in prison. What? That's nearly too much of a coincidence. Likely not a coincidence it seems. It seems like Y took an interest in the Nejima murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. You might even say he worshipped the man. Worship? Nejima of all people? This was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. But Y had been collecting these photos ever since that time. And since he just so happened to land in prison at the same time as Nejima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. What I don't understand is how this guy got with Michio's mom. Like, how did he get a lady? He's fucking obsessed with a serial killer. He's, like, been to prison. He doesn't have a job. She would have been better off alone. This guy was a leech that just took her fucking money and beat her and her daughter. Why was she with him? This is a lot. I mean, even having it laid out like this. The thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. I don't think we've ever had anything pointing to that. What's the connection? To be honest, it's a shock to me too. For years, we've been scratching our heads over the motives behind the Nejima murders. Yup, it's been a mystery to us all from the very start. Whoa now, wait just a minute. Do you think... No way, are you saying? That's right. The murders might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrificial offering match up exactly with the acts carried out by Nejima. You've got to be kidding me. So that sadistic crap he was doing was all for black magic? That's what the evidence suggests. However, Nejima tried to do some type of resurrection ritual, but Awai had a different motives. Chief Inspector, you might think this is all stuff of fantasy, but that doesn't refute that Nejima and Awai were both acting in earnest. This is batshit insane. You're telling me that nutjob did all of this for some hokey-pokey resurrection? Shit! That means there must have been someone Nejima wanted to bring back to life. Damn! That's it! That has to be it! Fucking hell, it makes sense now! What? What is it? So about the Nejima murders. There's some information that's been kept from the public. Go on. When we broke into his house and arrested him, we also found a baby. Oh my fucking god! A baby? It was a girl. Looked to be about 6 months old. She was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died. So was Nejima the father? He told us he found her under a bridge. He found her? Was she abandoned? I've heard of parents threatening to leave their child under a bridge, but to think it really happens. I suppose there are those cases with dead newborns stuffed in coin lockers, so it's not without precedence. Whatever the case, we never found out the truth. But there's one rumor from back then that I wish that I could never get out of my mind. And it's starting to sound more likely now. Well, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard of it. Many believe Nejima's guilty of more crimes than what got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing. Yeah, I remember all of that. Among the high school girls that might have been murdered, or maybe I should say sacrificed, was a girl who was pregnant. Goodness. That's horrific. He killed her. And dismembered her body. And we thought maybe the baby we found is what he pulled out from inside of her. Don't misunderstand me. This is all speculation on top of more speculation, you hear? But I, for one, never believed that man would just take in a baby he found under a bridge. I'm feeling sick. Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, I don't take that to be the full truth. We were running on speculation back then. Now that this whole resurrection magic has come into play, we should consider the possibility that it was his child, and that maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true. That's an interesting thought. If there's anyone Nejima would want to resurrect, a deceased wife is as good a guess as any. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests he has an interest in the rite of resurrection. Damn, you're right. And here I was thinking he was only after the curse's power to massacre. Chief Inspector? Yeah. What happened to the child? Without a birth registration on file, best we could do was find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances a secret for the sake of the child's future. Well, I'm glad she's taken care of. Don't mean to derail the conversation, but there's still more written in a wise journal. We know Awai had managed to obtain the grimoire thanks to the advice he got from his idol, Nejima, while in prison. After conducting research and gathering more information, we determined he had a chance to get rich quick. Right, he thought he could make some money if he could successfully use rejuvenation magic. Oh my god, just join a pyramid scheme like a normal loser. Correct. Turns out someone gave him the idea. And get this. It was the one and only queen and chairwoman of Hihaku Soaps herself, Natsui Yamamori. Wait, the chairwoman of Hihaku Soaps? So that's where this leads. Here, let me read what he wrote. The queen of Hihaku has a strange fear of growing old. Her fear of death is even worse. If she does die, she wishes to be revived, and she will spend whatever it takes to preserve her beauty. Magic, rituals, and rites, she'll use whatever means necessary. Her tenacity is unbelievable. She was apparently investing money into any research on resurrection, the restoration of youth, and the like. So she would even throw her money at the occult. The place's greed will take you. Well then, that brings us to Hideki Arashi. She presumably funded his research into the rite of resurrection as well. That's what it all points to. I wouldn't be surprised if the Witch of Hihaku pounced at the rumors of the rite of resurrection. It's starting to sound likely. It might be why she's spreading the rumor about having godly powers. It's a convenient cover for if she becomes young again. Godly powers? What's that all about? You can ignore that. Either way, I think Awai took the payments he was getting for his research to seduce the family into taking him to keep a low profile. The Shirashi family, Michio and her mother, Toshiko, were just his unlucky marks. And this is where you get involved. Are you feeling steady, ma'am? Huh? This has something to do with me? Are you— oh my god. Are you saying that— No, you can't mean— You've realized then. Perhaps— Kanichiko's wise. Living sacrifice was a child. That's exactly it. Iwai moved in with the Shirashis to practice his magic. He needed to sacrifice to perform his youth restoration spell, but that meant extracting the life force from someone young. Oh no. Of course. That awful man! So it was Iwai! This man! Why worshipped Nejima? So he must have also despised Nejima's detractors. Not to mention, he was captured and sent to jail once before. Surely he'd have a bone to pick with the police. So when he realized that he had the chance to both avenge Nejima, embarrass the police, and acquire a living sacrifice at the same time. Fuck! You got it. A Y kidnapped Harishima's son and managed to score 3 birds with 1 stone. Huh? You're telling me that horrid man, he never had the intention of returning my child? Huh? I thought there might have been a reason why the kidnapper seemed to be mocking the police. He never wanted money. His aim was to humiliate the force. It all makes sense. He must have used Michio to lower your boy's defensives, and then kidnapped him on his way home. That man, he took Shuichi! She's about to burst a blood vessel, holy shit. Ma'am, please calm down. I understand, but you must remember to breathe. You don't understand. You have absolutely no idea what I'm going through. This isn't a joke. I wouldn't expect the police to understand. You'll never understand. Living sacrifices. What a stupid, stupid idea from a stupid little man. Okay, ma'am. Let's just take a moment to breathe. Why don't we get some fresh air? I can't believe this. This is... Chief, I think it's best we take our leave. But before we go, there's one more important piece of information noted in this journal. Oh? The Y got in contact with Nejima last year after Nejima was released on parole. He provided him with accommodation and financial support. Is that so? He managed to find a hideout for Nejima to stay in. Damn it! If anything, rather than use his money to support the Shirashis, it seems most went to Nejima instead. If Nejima's lurking around anywhere at the moment, it's probably in that hideout. Did he write where it is? Unfortunately, no. Not that I can tell. But it seems Michio knew where it was. She never met with Nejima in person, but she was made to go in and clean up, among other things. What good is that information? The girl's already dead. Wait, no, she's alive. No, she's not. She's possessing Yako. Go ask Yako. That's right. Michio Shirashi is alive. If you can find her and get her to talk, you can get her to spill the beans on where his hideout is. Investigator, I'm asking you. I should be going. The lady's not well. Holy shit. Fucking asshole. Kanki Chihiro was once made a living in placing advertising in magazines to sell phony magic items and good luck charms. He held a nostalgic yearning for the post-war era when things and people were simple, and has nothing but negative things to say about the rapidly developing Aussie-centric world of late. Radical in his belief that it would be better to tear down society and start over again. Oh god, one of those people. Freaking Christ. Radical in his belief that it would be better to tear down society and start over again, Kanki Chihiro was discontent with his life spent poking around in society's cesspools to make a few coins. When the Nejima murders were widely reported in the media, it had a great impact on Kanshiro, as he witnessed how a single act by a single man could cause a major rift in society. Perceiving Nejima as a great hero, he began collecting every piece of information he could find on the man. He was later arrested for his illegal business practices and had a chance meeting with Nejima during his incarceration that solidified his idolization. He was captivated by Nejima's talk of black magic, and following his release, acquired the grimoire Nejima had hidden away. As for As for Toshiko Shirashi, Kankichiro set his sights on her after encountering her at her part-time job. When he learned that the Shirashi family was in financial trouble and could not afford to send Michio to college, he turned on the charm and took advantage of their weakness by offering them money. He revealed his true colors, however, after moving in with the family, and used violence and money to keep Toshiko and Michio under his thumb, all while his belief in black magic deepened. He found the sponsor in Hihaku Corporation. He forced the Shirashi family to perform various rituals, with any attempts to resist being met with merciless beatings. The mother and daughter were helpless to resist. They could have called the fucking police! After Hihaku offered Kankichiro great sums to intensify his work with black magic, he set his mind to sacrificing a child in order to perform a youth restoration spell. For this purpose, he chose Shuichi Shigema, the son of Haruhi Shigema, whom Fumichia held a grudge. He attempted to enlist Michio so as not to alarm the boy, and when she resisted, beat her mother 20 times. With Michio's assistance, Kankichiro kidnapped Shuichi, locked him up in the Shirashi house, and told the young and courageous boy that he'd kill Michio if he tried to run. While his actions were motivated by a personal grudge against the police, it was first and foremost an attempt to create a societal uproar and breakdown in public order. So he painted the crime as a regular kidnapping, demanding a ransom from the family. However, because an embargo on the press, the kidnapping did not cause the public outcry akin to that of the Nejima murders. Infuriated, he had Toshiki perform the ritual by threatening to kill Michio if she refused. Toshiko killed Shuichi in his sleep, but the spell failed, for which he blamed her. Warning Michio to keep silence about the murder to avoid incriminating her mother, Kankichiro dumped the boy's body in a nearby river. When the tiny corpse was found a week later in the Sumida River after floating through several canals in Honjo, having drifted for days in the polluted waters, little evidence remained. Although he performed no further sacrifices, his devotion to black magic only increased. Toshiko and Michio spent their days consumed by guilt, forced to continue serving him until the day they died. I think Michio was right to seek revenge. I think her killing this fucker from beyond the grave was a girl boss move and a win for feminism. She was right to kill him. He had it coming. He had it coming, da-da, he had it coming, da-da, he had it coming all along. If you had been there, if you had seen it, how could you tell us that we were wrong? Are you feeling better now that we've gotten some fresh air, ma'am? I'm fine. No, you're not. You're not fine. She's like that dog in the burning house saying I'm fine when she's obviously not fine. Suddenly finding out who the kidnapper was really made me lose my wits. We managed to solve the kidnapping case by pure luck here. You're right. Raicher. I feel grateful towards Michio. Because she killed the kidnapper? There's that, too. But it's for something else. If Michio is the one killing all these people, then she must have acquired a sizable amount by now. Soul dregs, I mean. Hey, Raicher. Whether the kidnapper's dead or alive, it doesn't mean a thing. Revenge won't bring my boy back. And if Nejima is planning to cause a massacre to collect soul dregs, then all the better. I won't give up on resurrection. So I'm counting on you. Raicher, my man, you are what we like to refer to in the biz as in too deep. I love how the next chapter is literally titled Too Much to Handle. Like, Riker knows that he's like, oh, the woman who hired me is gonna make me an accomplice to murder. Like, he knows that's gonna happen. That already happened in the first timeline with Shogo, because she fucking killed Shogo and Riker was just standing there watching. Okay, next we have the cafe thing, but we'll do that next time. I think that's enough for today. I hope everyone had a good time. And until next week, show's over.